What's up guys, it's Clump, and today we're going to be doing an updated top 15 mobile players based off everything that has happened since our last one, including the World Cup qualifiers and other events. Now a lot has changed since my last list a couple months ago, and new pros have popped up on the scene. And while making this list, I also recruited the help of other top pro players, all from various teams and backgrounds, to make the list as unbiased as possible. If you would like to just see the full list and skip to the end, I'll have a timestamp on the screen now and you can go look at that, but I'd also recommend watching some of the players, as they're all very talented. I'll also leave all these players' links in the description below. Now the main ideology of this list and what actually makes a player good is that the best players will always be able to outperform others in a World Cup style game, including the 100 best mobile players in a lobby. You can be as good as you want in 1v1s and pub stomping, but if you can't perform against other top tier players, you aren't as good as them. Also, I'm obviously not going to place myself on this list as it would be biased, but for my subscribers, I'd like to know where I would be ranked or if they think I would be on the list at all. Here's just an opinion of another pro player that I asked, not even asking to rank myself as well. That said, let's get right into the list.
Left the tongue stain, let my what hang, falling short breath, got my lungs cave, I'm a nuisance, and these blueprints prove right like Buddhists can't do.
At number 15 we have James, a pro player for Celeste. He uses 8 fingers and is very talented at both creative and scrims. What separates James from other players below him, including honorable mentions we'll have later in his video, is his mechanical skill. He does have accomplishments placing high in MGL and getting high point games in World Cup qualifiers, but his mechanical skill is what separates him. He also holds his mobile and all-platform squad kill record of 62 kills, which was actually set yesterday. At number 14 we have Tokipi, which is both the best iPhone player in Fortnite Mobile and also the best player from the Asian servers in Fortnite Mobile. As you can see, they are obviously very talented and creative and gain most of their attention from this platform, but have also performed in arena and other scrims. And from playing with one of the top players, Wilson, we know that he's a very good player. Tokipi is similar to James in the fact that they prove themselves in their mechanical skill rather than scrim accomplishments, but also, as I said earlier, with the help of other pros, we can determine these early spots. At number 13 we have 3 Justin P, who throughout his mobile career has performed in various scrims all across time and not just recently. He's been a top player for a long time now and continues to prove himself with his extreme mechanical skill and scrim performances. Recently in the MGL playoffs he was in first place after day 1, but his partner was unable to play the second day. They easily could have won MGL if his partner was able to play the second day as well. He's also won various one-day tournaments and has made it to the second day for the MGL kill race. At number 12 we have Lightz, a pro player for Omen Elite, who just like Justin has been a top player for a long time. He consistently proves himself in one-day tournaments and longer tournaments such as MGL, winning multiple times, also being on multiple pro teams throughout his career such as FNX, Omen, and Surge. Overall, he's a very good player. He is particularly known for his competitive sniping and is one of the best snipers in Fortnite Mobile, consistently hitting shots in arena and clutch moments against players that are practicing good movement and are hard to hit. At number 11 we have Moodeh, an EU player from FNX. He's probably the biggest creative warrior on this list, just being an absolutely dominant editor and free builder. But as we said, you have to be able to perform against other top pros, which is why he's slightly lower on the list than some expect. However, he still has proved himself in MGL, Arena, and EU scrims, consistently placing and proving that he is another top player, along with other players from FNX. I'm just going to let you watch the rest of his clips, and remember that all of these players will have their links in the description if you're interested in checking them out. At number 10 we have Ray, a 3 times qualifier for the Sunday finals for World Cup finals on NA West. It is slightly less of an accomplishment because it is on NA West and it is easier to do than if it were on NA East, but it's still a very talented player and clearly one of the top players in the world. He's also first in the mobile Kovacs, if that means anything to anyone. At number 9 we have Xful, another player for FNX. He's another previous pro player that has already proven himself many times, and hasn't done too much recently, but is still already known for being a top player. He's also very mechanically skilled and especially skilled in box fighting. He doesn't record that much, so this is the only clip I found, but it's not bad. At number 8, we have Balle, another FNX EU pro. He's just as good as creative as he is at World Cup and scrims, and you can go watch his scrim and World Cup highlights from almost every week, I think. He didn't qualify for finals, I think, at all, but on the EU servers it is very hard to do that, but it's still popped off almost every weekend, getting in the high 30s and 40s. Balle also recently killed Atlantis Kuna, one of the best box fighters in the world, in a box fight. At number 7, we have A1Alex, which is an FNX NA pro, who is one of the best scrim players in the world, being a 3-time winner for MGL back when squads was the main game mode. Recently, he is also qualified for the World Cup one time, I think, on West. And he's also a very smart player and patient, taking his time and making good decisions, waiting until he has his moment to strike and then doing so. At number 6, we have Wrath, a player for Static. He doesn't record, so I'll just have my clips playing in the background. But he's qualified, I think, 2 or 3 times for NA East duos, which is much more competitive than solos. He's also performed in various mobile tournaments, such as MGL, World Cup Fortnite, and MCS, placing and winning money in all of those events. At number 5, we have Blake Boss, my duo partner. He's a 3-time qualifier in the NA East server, which is also a very hard server to qualify in, and I think he's the most qualified player of any mobile player, besides Rate, who qualified but on West servers 3 times, so I'd say Blake has done better. Also, he could have easily qualified a 4th time, but recently carried Ducky the Gamer to 53 points, which is Ducky's first time ever playing. We were also first in MGL during the regular season before he could sadly not play the playoffs. Overall, he's one of the smartest players I know. At number 4, we have AdMex Legend, who has been known to be the best Fortnite mobile player in the world for the longest time. However, recently he has done almost nothing. He became a bit inactive, which threw him off his spot, and recently he's just been passed up by other players that have been grinding. He's still one of the best players, especially mechanically wise, constantly being able to outperform others in that sense. And overall, despite being a 4th player, he can easily be argued to be the top player still. And yeah, it's just AdMex Legend. At number 3, we have Wilson, who's another player that's been known to be a top player for a long time, especially since he ever got his new iPad and became a top player then. He qualified 1 time, I think the very first duo week, with his partner, Mel, and also has just been performing very well in other weeks, despite not qualifying any other times. Overall, he's very mechanically skilled, but also just as intelligent, which makes him a very good scrim player. He doesn't really care about creative, all he cares about is winning and placing in events, which is partly what makes him so good. At number 2, we have Void, the highest earned Fortnite mobile player in Epic hosted events, winning $300 or around that range in the last solo week for the Fortnite World Cup, placing above pros such as TSM Zexro and other pros as well. This was a great accomplishment for mobile, making him one of only 2 players to ever win money in an Epic hosted event along with IAmNoob. And overall, he's the best player in the North American region. He's also a 3-time champion in MGL along with A1Alex and currently a pro for FNX NA. Overall, he's probably the best scrim player in the world. And yeah, here's just some clips of him. At number 1, we have IAmNoob, the best FNX EU player and the best player in the world. He's the only player to win money from Europe in the World Cup, one of the hardest regions to play on. And he has won multiple MGL championships while with FNX EU. He's probably the most mechanical, smoothest builder, as his YouTube titles say, and he's just very good, even though Slays abuses him for money. So pretty much he's like the best Fortnite mobile player, and yeah, he's pretty good, and like all the other players are like good, but like he's better, so like bye.